Hey guys, Languagehacker here, and today I'm going to talk to you about a control/menagerie shaman that's popped up the past week or two, and it's a deck that I've been playing a lot in qualifiers, and I've been doing pretty well with against specifically Warrior, which I know some of you guys might not like playing against. So I'm going to hop into the deck and explain how to play it. I think HS Replay is classifying this as control. I'm calling it menagerie because you actually have quite a few different minion types in here. But let's go over what the shaman deck has. You got Brucon, seems good. Hero cards are pretty good. Very good in control game plans, and just in general to stabilize against more aggressive decks, taunts, heals, whatever. Damage to close out the game. You just get a nutty hero power, and that's just good. You have your standard Snowfall Guardians, you have your Macaws, you have your Wildpaw Caverns, because they're just staple good shaman cards. Sleep Breakers are in there. And the rest of the deck, I would say, is kind of fresh for Shaman, because we've had Shaman playing stuff like Bioluminescence, we've had Shaman playing Burn Shaman, right? And a lot of these elements are the same, but the new stuff that's been being played is some Murloc-y stuff. We have Clownfish, which came out with the mini set. And with that, I've included Cookie, Piranha Poacher, 2 Gorlock Ravagers, Mutinous the Devourer, and 2 Amalgams. And this package does a couple of things. One, against tempo decks, when you have an early Clownfish, you can get a lot of stats on the board and fight for board, which is very good. Help offset the pressure. It helps you pressure slower decks as well, getting a lot of things onto the board. The Ravagers are our main cycle package, and it draws us a couple of things. One, it draws us Clownfish, which then lets us use mana efficiently. And it draws Mutinous. The game plan against most slow decks with this deck is Mutinous. You have a bunch of stuff to spend mana on in the meantime, but the way you just knock other decks out of the water is going Mutinous with either Bran and Macaw or Bolner. And you might say, well, Hacker, Mutinous is very expensive. How do you expect to eat that much stuff? Well, with Clownfish, you can make Mutinous cheaper, right? With 1 Clownfish proc, it's 5 mana. If you happen to stack Clownfish procs, you go Clownfish, Clownfish, and then your consecutive, the next Murloc you play is 4 mana less. It could even be 3 mana. And with a 3 mana Mutinous, it's a lot easier to do stuff like Bolner, Mutinous, and a couple of other cheap battle cries, or Bran Mutinous, or you could even go for the slow route. You go Mutinous, and then the turn after you go like Bran Macaws. And that eats a lot of stuff. It's very good against stuff like Control Warrior, because if you eat Kazakhstan or enough dragons, they kind of lose. And even if you don't, if you eat all of their other minions, they just run out of stuff to do. And they just start having to use resources to stay alive, and then eventually they don't have enough stuff. Even with Kazakhstan, they could eventually just run out of steam. And also you develop enough boards that they just have to shield shatter early, or just risk taking a bunch of damage, and you can slowly grind them out. And get to a point where you can Mutinous as a game plan. Against Boar Priests, against slow Warlocks, against Paladin, same game plan. Very, very good. If you eat enough boar, if you eat a boar against Boar Priest, you win. Against Paladin, if you eat any of their big minions, mainly Smite though. When Smite's gone, you kind of win, because then you just freeze the board and hit them in the head. And against Warlock, same. Warlock actually is a bit tougher because they have enough things, but Warlock's not a very popular deck. Curse Warlock is actually kind of difficult because they have enough ways to clear boards, and they don't have like one important card in hand that you need to Mutinous. So it's, you can eat a bunch of stuff and they can still kind of get you. But Warlock's not that popular. Otherwise, it seems very, very well placed in the meta. How does it do against Rogue and Demon Hunter and Mech Paladin, I guess? Against those decks, it's a bit harder, but we still have good ways to spend mana. We look for, Clownfish, Cookie. I included initially 2 Poachers. I found the reason I added 1 instead of 2 is because I felt like you still needed something to do on 3 against some decks. That's like a proactive play. But I didn't want to include 2, and when I did include 2, I did test this for a bit. It felt like Gorlock Ravager was not drawing Mutinous enough in the important matchups, and I was getting hand space issues as well, because of the fact that the curve is a little slow, and some of your plays generate other stuff too. I actually haven't gone over the rest of the deck yet. Sleep Breakers in there. There used to be more Chain Lightnings and Wind Chills, but I decided the deck needs to be a bit more proactive and less reactive, so I ended up cutting those. Schooling's very, very, very strong play. For 1 mana, you add 6 damage to your hand, and that costs 3 mana to activate after the fact, but it's very flexible because you can split in multiple ways. You have a 3, a 2, and a 1. You can use it as 3 1-damage pings. Against slower decks, you can just go Schooling, Prawn or Prawn on 2, and they can't really, like, how does Warrior kill a 1-health minion? It waits until it can coin a weapon. So this ends up pushing a lot of damage against slow decks like that. Amalgam's very flexible in this deck. It gets drawn by Gorlock Ravager. You can discover more elementals. You can find more Snowfall Guardians. You can find Wind Chills. Let me just to show you that there's a lot of flexibility with this, and it is random, but You can get stuff like, I don't have these cards on Asia. Neptulon for value. You can get Ice Revenant, which works with wind chills. You can get cheap elementals to play. You can find like hexes. You can find Baron Glacier, an extra threat with the wind chills you're playing. You can find heal, taunt, and then some other stuff. And that's just elementals. Amalgam is very good at finding other Murloc-y synergies. If you are going big on a Clownfish turn, you can amalgamate right after for 0 mana. You can find another cheap Murloc to play on the same turn. You can Clownfish. You can go on turn 2, coin Clownfish, Amalgam, and then like Firemancer Flurgle. And that's already 3 minions on turn 2 you have on the board. In big tempo games, you can also find stuff like Cold Light Seer. Firemancer Flurgle can help as well. You can find more cookies to stabilize and heal off of. Amalgam's just super flexible. There's a couple of beasts in the deck too, right? You have Vipers, Macaws, and Schooling adds the Piranha Stormers to your hand. So you can find Owl, you can find Smothering Starfish, you can find more Macaws, you can find more Vipers, and I believe you can discover Piranha Stormers as well, because that is a collectible card. We have a Connie for some disruption. We have School Teacher for some oomph. A lot of the times when you just play boards and they get wiped, you can run out of value, and having like a backup Bolner School Teacher late game can help you as well. Just keep cranking out Nogglings that keep generating stuff, which is pretty good. Brand adds some flexibility with that as well. Command of Neptulon, also a card that's been added in the mini set. Very, very strong. Good at clearing 2 things. There's an illegal amount of rush damage, honestly. And it's just big. It doesn't die to weapon, for example. It cleans up rogue 3/3s from the Asharan Vessel. Quite nice. So you just need to manage a little bit of overload. Not as much as Shaman decks normally have. But otherwise, this deck just feels insane. In terms of mulligans, I always look for Schooling. I occasionally keep Sleepbreaker if it's a matchup I need to play minions in. I will keep it. I keep Clownfish frequently against tempo decks. I keep Cookie against tempo decks, against slow, and Piranha Poacher. Against slow decks, I definitely look for Wildpaw Caverns. I can keep Gorlock Ravager against specifically Warriors or Paladins, but only if I have something else to do first. The Mutinous game plan is great, but if you're behind on board, you don't have the mana to freeze, stall, and eat. So you want to make sure you have proactive plays, and then you fall back on the control sort of game plan where you either eat stuff or set yourself up for Brucon and Snowfall Guardians. So look for early stuff to do. And then see what draws you have, and based on that, the game plan changes quite a bit. So in that sense, it's kind of like a control deck because it's a little flexible in what it does. It can be aggressive, it can be defensive, based on what cards you draw. Anyways, I had a lot of fun with this. I did very well in Cups as well. If you are a competitive player, you can consider bringing this to Open Cups if you want to leave up Warrior and not ban it. Yeah, that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed the analysis. Here's some cool games. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck. Okay. Seems okay. It's not the nuts, but it's okay. I like finding ways to spend mana early. It's hard to know how to mulligan unless you know what you're up against, but I generally assume I'm against the rogue. When you strike a playboy pose. Okay. Bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum. Couple options. I can play a Clownfish or I can play a Poacher. If it's Rogue, I want to play, I think, a Poacher because that has a lot of health. But if it's Priest, I might want to play Clownfish. I'm gonna assume it's a Rogue and do this. I want to against Priest basically, which I'm assuming is Boar Priest. It could be Wig Priest. Against Wig Priest, I prefer the Poacher as well. But against Boar Priest, you basically have to race to find Mutinous, and then eat their boars or whatever. Some of their minions. Against Rogue, though, you want to make sticky boards that are hard to remove. Keep up on tempo, don't take unnecessary damage. And then you can win the game with Snowfall Guardians or by just removing the threats. 0 mana null. Very original. 2 Vipers for Warrior. Yeah, also this deck doesn't cycle, so a tradable is okay. Sag. So the last Battlecry I played was a Sleepbreaker. I don't think that's good enough. So I probably just go Clownfish plus Piranha Stormer, full clear. We want to Brucon an 8 if we can. Or actually, we want to Brucon after they scabs, basically. Very likely I'm going command next turn. Overloads is going to 6, which can matter if you need to Snowfall Guardian, but this is not a game where we currently need to Snowfall Guardian. Very original. 2 Knolls. Feels bad jamming a Neptulon thing into here, but the best tempo I've got, unfortunately. Alternatively, I take a Windchill. No, it's not a Windchill, it's a Clownfish, which isn't even good, so... Sadly, I will do this. An older list I used to run had 2 Chain Lightnings, which helped clean up boards like this. But I was facing a lot of Warriors, so I thought the Vipers would help more. So my take on the current arena meta? I don't know. It feels like I can play well around cards that I'm aware of, and then I just get blown out of the water by a legendary. And usually it's not as problematic, except when, obviously, like in the last meta, you discover Raid Boss and Nixie and the game would end. That still happens, but it happens with even more legendaries, so it's just super frustrating. Unless you draft like an illegal deck, you're not going past 6-7 wins very consistently, just because you just get run over by an a potato who has 3 good cards that just completely knock you out of the game, which is really frustrating. Well, this isn't that scary. School teacher, that seems pretty good. That's a good way to spend mana. Feral Spirit seems very good. Let's do that. I can overload now. Storm is also good later on, but I have an opportunity here to just hit them in the head, so I think I will do that. So if I Feral Spirits, they're going to go Krakatoa, right? It's almost guaranteed they're going to go Krakatoa. So they VT, Krakatoa, no. VT, Krakatoa, it's a full clear. Alternatively, I take Feral Lightning Storm and then wait. No, I think I do have to do this. They have to think at least before face tanking this, because this is a lot of damage. Lots of your friends quit arena. I'm sorry to hear that. I've been getting very frustrated with it. I'm trying to figure out... Wow, another game where my rogue opponent had 2 Knolls and a Krakatoa. That's a very unique pan out, right? What was I saying? I want to find a way to actually be able to... What's the word I'm looking for? Prep stab, Sag. Express how I feel about the meta and what specifically in the meta frustrates me. Because I can tell that the meta's... I don't know, I can't explain why, I don't have that in my head yet, but it is frustrating right now. Viper seems fine. This gives me a Feral Spurge, but it overloads me. I don't think I need to use this now. I do want a Viper. I probably want to Windshield this. Command of Neptulon, but that overloads me, which I don't quite like. I mean, I actually do think I Chain Lightning. Never mind. It sets up for Brukan to clear next turn, which I think I like a lot. They could Shadow Step this, which is slightly annoying, but like, whatever. Dredge is losing his mind each day. I've been okay the past couple days because I've been trying to stay kind of PMA and I've been off stream, but today I got really frustrated. Not frustrated enough to where it's concerning, but it definitely doesn't feel good right now. My last battle cry is a Viper. Prep. And then they just drew Vessel probably. No, okay. Wow, so they drew something that's unplayable, which is quite nice, I'd say, for me. This is too good not to do. I think I do go for taunts here instead of healing, because they want to scabs, and if they scabs, I get this back, which is kind of nice. I could even go face, but I think this is the responsible play. I could play an Amalgam here, but I think I want to save it for another turn. Like, Scabs is their best play here, and I'd rather save the mana on this. Portugallo, thanks for the 15 months. Can we get some claps in chat? Welcome back to the Hack Pack. Glad to have you here. Hope my day's going well. It's going alright. It's going better now that you're here. Dun, 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 dun. Last battle cry was Brukan. Bran here would be illegal. Snowfall Guardian would also be pretty good. Thanks, Pickle King. So do you. Thank you for the claps, guys. Schooling, that's not it. Let's look for healing or taunts here to be a bit defensive. Very nice. Deal 2 is fine. I'll take an elemental here. There's some pretty good elementals in the pool. Slogger for healing seems fine. I do want to weave in a hero power because they are kind of close to dead. Spend the mana on schooling for now. And then tempo this. Max tempo. There's a chance I die here. It's not super likely though. Right? Smite step. Step doesn't even do it. Smite, prep, vessel, gone fishing. It's very difficult for me to die from here. That was a pretty good random spell. It keeps them in the game. We can clean this up without too much concern, but I'm running out of stuff to do. I have 2 Murloc discounts banked right now. Hey Viper, how's it going? Why is schooling in the deck? Because Piranha Stormers are pretty good. This is 4 mana, 6 power. It's good at dealing individual damage to clean up small stuff. It's good at pressuring a warrior. It's good at making a bigger Snowfall Garden if you need to. It's probably a spell, which is fine. Alright, now they use all these resources to try and stay alive. There's 6 showing on board. Cookie. I have to do this first, just in case they were feeling spicy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. Is that good enough? Or I could use Command Epsilon. I think I'm happy with these 4. Sun. So on that one face, since I'm at full health and I don't really care about that. Could protect a taunt, but meh. I guess trading plays around Gigafin. That actually is something to consider. That's like the only way I lose now. I can still clear a Gigafin, but I should consider that. Brukan is good in this matchup. What's also good in this matchup is just being ahead on board. So I'm going to mull for playable cards. Temple Bowler is not really it. This hand is not crispy. Command of Neptune is good, but not into Mooncatchers. And not in my opening hand. I'm looking for schooling. I'm looking for 2-drops. And playable 3s, and these are not playable, unfortunately. This guy's not running Silence. So Snowfall Guardians can do a lot of work. Man, the priest game was right on the wire. I might have to play Bowler on 2. They kept 1 card. Yeah. I hate playing Bowler, but... Do I play Macaw here just to fight for board? I don't think so. I think we do just Totem, and I think I do bump. Bowler sticking is very nice. We'll see what they do here, though. They're gonna get... Oh, actually, because I hit the taunt, maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. Interesting. Very interesting, actually. I mean, that's probably true. Yeah, it probably is true. It's too late now. Bolner Clownfish? So that's my... Oh, this is insane. So this is -4 on the next one, which means I can play a Ravager. Okay, winnable, winnable, winnable. Very nice draw. We do this. So my next one still counts 4 less. So I do this. Oh, that's not a battle cry, but that's still fine. Okay. South Coast Chieftain, probably. I don't need more Clownfish because I don't have any more Murlocs, so we take one that has use here. And I don't swing. I'm very happy I played Bowler on 2. What's up, Moyen? That is not a Samuro. Okay. Bowler's gone, but he's done his job. I could disable a minion here. That seems wise. I don't think I need the school teachers right now. I think I like turning off a minion, because that's what they want to do next turn. Every minion they play right now is kind of important. I think I can play both of these if I'm not mistaken. But how do I play them? What if I don't care about this? They buff 1 extra minion? Or I push 4 face. Can they kill this somehow? Any? I don't care about any. I think we go face here. Okay. My order was bad. I should have probably ended on Akani for the Macaw. That was a mistake. I mean, it's not probably, it was a mistake. Well, blocking that's nice. Grillbot. We just take the poison hit there because it's going to die to Cariel or something else. So that's fine. What else am I doing? Something that already dies to Cariel is trading. I don't think I'm using a Piranha here. Chain Lightning is probably better on average than this because it deals with the Divine Shield. You're going face. We trade you. I could even chip this face actually, but play a little bit around Carriel. Sito, bana 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 bana, Murgle, Murgle. 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 That was fine. 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 11 on board. Let's fucking go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. 3, 5, 7, 11. 'Challenge cancelled.